This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, hi, good morning all. So let's get started now. So yesterday we created an activity to send an email to the managers, right? So now, we need to include this activity in the declare trigger rule. Okay. So in the activity, we are using the loop, and so when you use the for each embedded page, so you must need to define the page list property, and so this loop will be executed for 3 times, since we have 3 different operators, 3 manager operators. Okay, so these are child steps. Okay, so now let's invoke this activity in the declare trigger. So where we need to create a declare trigger rule? Yeah, in the data class, right? So go to the win transaction details. Okay, so go to the declare trigger. And so when we are sending an email, so whenever a new record is added into this class, right? Send email to managers. So here the trigger when an instance is, so here we have different options. So if committed save is like whenever a new record is added permanently, or saved, it's like obj save, the default save. So when you save the instance using the obj save, then this will be executed, likewise. So committed delete, so when you delete a record from the database, it will execute the corresponding rule. Okay, and saved, and one of the properties was modified. Okay, so it is saved and some property is modified, so in that case also, so we can execute it. So obj save without right now, and if some property changes, then this will execute an activity. Okay, so here, so the trigger activity, so we need to call that. So what is the activity we created? This one, right? But here the activity type should be trigger. Okay, so if you want to call in the declare trigger, it should be, the type should be trigger, so that then only you will be able to see that activity. Okay, and if you want to execute this activity based on the condition, okay, so you can define a condition here, and if the condition is satisfied, this will be executed, otherwise no. Okay, so you are saving, so we are selecting this option now, the committed save, and along with this, the when condition also should be satisfied. Okay, and so we are not saving, we are not sending an email based on some conditions, in that case, like we need to put the condition here. Okay, so for example, let's say if it is the the year, the model year is less than 2010, so we don't need to send an email, for example. So in that case, like so we need to put that condition. Okay, so now where we need to call this trigger? Yeah, so we don't need to call, right? So whenever a record is added into this class, so it will send an email automatically. So it will execute this activity and that logic will be performed. Okay, so now So let's execute auto loan. At what step so we are saving the instance? In the third screen of auto loan details, right? In the third screen of auto loan flow. Okay, so let's execute auto loan flow here. So here let's put mandatory details. Okay, so now in the third screen, right? So when we click on submit here, okay, but so we did circumstance for this. Let me, yeah, so we have withdrawn this rule, right? But anyway, so since like, so we invoked in the post parsing, it will be executed. So section withdrawn, but flow action will be there. Okay. So if we click on submit, it will, so we are taking, the loan ID as PY ID. So PY ID always will be there, the work object ID, and we will see that. So let's trace, but we will not see the vehicle details, but ID will be there. Okay. So here, if you want to see the declare trigger, so we need to enable this option, the declare trigger. Let's see. Let's submit the thought screen. And see here. So we invoked save win details in the post parsing, and that saved the data into the database, and it is sending an email. Okay. So the declare trigger, so it has saved, right? So since it is saved, declare trigger rule started executing, and inside that we called send email to managers activity, and that has been executed. Okay. So now go to the email and see. Right? Yeah, 3 emails. So since we specified the same email address, it has sent 3 times. Clear? So now, if you want to restrict, sending to some managers, so I don't want to, send to a manager at the rate of PNC. Then how can we restrict that? So here in the precondition, so we can put that. Okay. So on the page, so what is the property? Py address of email.py email address is equivalent to admin manager at the rate of PNC. Then he can exit iteration. Okay, since we are in the loop, so you need to put this option like this. Py addresses of email.py email address is, or you can create a when rule, and in the data admin operator ID class, and you can call that. Okay, since we are putting only one condition, you can put like this. If you have multiple conditions, you can define like one by one like this, right? So if it is manager at the rate of PNC, then we don't need to send an email, right? So in that case, it will exit from the iteration and it will go for second iteration. Okay, so we have 3 pages and it will execute for 3 times. Okay, so let's say the first the pxls of 1 is loan officer 1 and 2 is 2 and 3 is manager at the rate of PNC. Okay, so while looping for third time, it will not send an email, so it will exit from iteration, so without uh, executing these steps. Okay, so this is how we put the precondition. Clear? Any questions? And here, like so we can also use this step, but here, so we cannot select pass current parameter page. So again, like we need to take the params and we need to put here. We use like this. Okay. So this is about declare trigger. It's very important for interface. So whenever instance is saved or deleted or committed saved, it will execute the activity. Okay. And so we have a declare on change, and that is based on the property. Okay. So whenever the property value changes, automatically it will execute the corresponding activity. Okay, so let's assume that so we have a flow and where we have different work object statuses, right? So if you take the home loan can be resolved with risky, or it can be resolved means like resolved with risky and resolved by manager or rejected also. Okay, let me open that flow. Approval process, right? Approval process. Yeah. So if it is rejected, we are updating the status. Start with rejected, right? Or resolved. Okay. Resolved risky. And so here we have resolved withdrawn. Okay. So whether it is rejected or resolved completely, the always status, work object status to be started with resolved only. Okay, so here it is so if our flow goes this side, that means like it is resolved with risky, right? Okay, so if it is ended here, so it will update the status resolved risky. Okay, so our the requirement is whenever a work object is resolved, the status work contains the resolved. Okay, either it is resolved completed or resolved risky or resolved withdrawn, so we need to send an email. Okay, so if it is not declare on change, okay, so we need to call in multiple places, right? So if it is resolved risky, we need to send an email. That means so here somewhere we need to call activity, and again so we need to call here, here, and here. So 4 different places we need to call the activity. So instead of doing that, so you take the py status work property. If py status work contains the resolve, it has to send an email with the status. Okay. So initially it will be something like in new and like so when it goes here, then it will be updated accordingly, right? So whenever the py status work changes, it will send an email. But you will put the condition if it contains resolve, not for other statuses. Let's say if it is pending manager or pending with loan officer, if you have the status like that, so in that case it will not send an email. Okay, clear? So let me open the rule form of declare on change. So what you do is, so you take the property py status work. So this you can do, and so you have already logic to send an email, but here, so you should not send for all the work object statuses, so that you can put when rule. If py status work contains, so we have a function called contains, you can use that. Okay, or all the resolved, so work object always start with resolve, or we have a function called starts with. Okay, start with means if the status start with resolved, okay, it will send an email. So you can use any of that function, like start with or contains. And here, if the when rule is satisfied, it will execute this activity. And if doesn't satisfy, if you want to execute another logic, another activity, then you need to call that. So if you are not putting any condition, by default it will take this activity. Okay, so properties to watch, so you can define multiple also. If any one of the property value changes, it will execute an activity. Clear? Okay, so you have already logic to send an email. The only thing is you need to create a when rule and you call that activity here. Okay, so these are very important. So sometimes they will ask the difference between on change and trigger, or explain about on change and trigger and where you use it in your application. Okay, so you can explain the same scenarios. Okay, so if it is declare on change, right, so whenever, so we define the properties in the declare on change rule, those are called watch properties, right? So whenever the property value changes, it will execute the corresponding activity. Okay, and if it is declare trigger, so whenever a new instance is added into the database or deleted or saved, it will execute the corresponding activity. Okay, clear online, guys?
Yeah, clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, Satya.
Yeah. So this is about so declarative rules. So we have how many declarative rules available? So declare expression, declare constraint, on change, trigger, and we have a declare index. So that we will work on later. Okay, as part of report definition. And so sometimes they will ask the difference between the declarative rules and normal rules. Okay, so other than these rules, all are called procedural rules. So if you, in order to make it executable, so we must need to invoke somewhere. So you created an activity, so without calling that activity somewhere, it will not work, right? But so you don't need to invoke declarative rules. So those will be executed by PRPC internal. Okay, so now, so we are going to work on the flow actions and UI architecture. Okay, so far we created multiple flow actions, right? And we created flow actions and we invoked in the connectors of the assignments. Okay, and so these are all called connectors flow actions. Okay, so if you open any flow action, so under the action tab, so we see, used as local and connector, right? So that means we can use this flow action as a connector flow action and also local flow action. Okay, so far, so we invoked only in the connectors. Those are all called connector flow actions. Okay, and if you put only local action, and you cannot invoke this in the connector. So by default, you see the local and connector. Okay, the local action. So if it is a connector flow action, right? So whenever you submit the screen, so it is taking you to the next screen. So behind that we have a connector flow action which advancing the flow. Okay. So when you submit the screen, you will go to the next screen, right? So if it is the local flow action, it will not advance the flow. Okay. Let's say I want to upload some documents and click off some button, right? So when you click on the button, so there will be some action performed, like opening the screen model dialog, and where you can upload the document, and you know uh, once we click on submit, then only it will go to the next screen. Okay, but so you will upload the documents and you will be on the same screen only. Okay, and so sometimes, let's say you route it to the manager, and if manager want to route it back to the different operators. Okay, so in the actions drop down, so we will have some options like uh, the local actions, so where like user can perform that, so can select other operator and can route it to the different work basket or operator. Okay, clear? So local flow action doesn't advance the flow, rather it performs some action being on the same screen. Okay, so put it in types of the flow actions or flow action types. We have two types of flow actions, so connector flow action and local flow action. So simply connector flow action advance the flow. Okay, so local flow action doesn't advance the flow, rather it performs some action being on the current screen. So if you submit it, normally if you submit the work of the screen, it will go to the next screen, right? So where you will not be on the same screen. But here, so once you perform the local action, so you'll be on the same screen only. Okay. So if it is the connector flow action, we call it only in the connectors. The name itself, saying, right? So we can call only in the connectors. And local flow action, so we can call in different places. So we can call in the controls. So control means like button is a control, checkbox is control, like that. So whenever you click on button, so I want to perform some action, right? So in that call you can call in the button control, and we can call in the assignment shape. Okay, so it is very important, like so where we can call the local flow action, mostly the controls, then assignment shape and flow. mostly. And we can call in some other places also, even like, in some activity methods, and even we can call in the SLA to advance the flow, right? But mostly we use in the controls, assignment shape and flow. Okay, so first let's open the flow. So let's say, so we want to allow some functionality where, like, user should be able to modify that across the flow. So initially you selected you know uh, some customer, and later, like, you can so let's say working on a call center application, so where initially you will select some customer and you will proceed to the next screen. But where, like, if you want to modify the customer, then so you can launch the same, the screen from the local actions, from the actions drop down, and again you can perform it. You can search for new customer or you can add it. Okay, so that means across the flow you will have ability to uh, search with the new customer. Or let's say in the insurance application, and you should be able to modify insurance start date at any point of time in the flow before it is getting completed, right? So what we can do is, so we can create a flow action with those details, and we will configure in the flow. Okay, let me take Womlo. Yeah, so we configure in the flow, and that will be available across the flow in all the assignment shapes. Okay, so under the design tab, so we have a flow while local actions, right? So here you can define. So let's say borrow, if you define, borrower details here, what will happen? So you'll be able to change the borrower details in each assignment. Okay. So even, like, you can change from assets and liabilities screen. Okay. So flow wide local actions. So these local actions will be available across the flow. And display these actions first. Means, like, by default it will be displayed in the alphabetic order. Okay, let's say if you, let's say first you put, some flow action other than, so these will be displayed in the alphabetic order. Let's say A, B, C. Like if the flow action start with A, then that will be displayed first in the actions drop down. Okay, and so display these actions first in this order, like how you define. Okay, and so I want the local action to be available for only loan details. So in that case, you go to the loan details and assignment, and here, sorry, not under assignment. So we have a separate tab local actions. Okay, and here you can call multiple, but these will be available only in this assignment, not in other assignments. Okay, so now we'll work on a scenario where user will be able to upload the documents on click of button, and those should be attached to the work object. And when you're out to the manager, and manager will be able to, download those documents and can verify it. Clear? Right? So now, so let's put it in implement upload documents functionality. Okay, so what we do is so we need to create a section. In the section we put the control, let's say button control, and we will call local action in the button. Okay, and we have some out of the box local actions available, or else like you can create the flow action and you can call it. Okay, whenever you click on that, that flow action will be displayed. Okay, and so this is required for both, so you create under work class. So create a section called collect the loan documents, or upload loan documents. Okay, so this is the button control, and make it strong. Okay, like how it looks like this. So this is also button, right? So this is you will see with the button symbol for cans. Okay, and change the label name from button to upload documents. Okay, so whenever we click on the button, so event should be clicked. So the event is nothing but performed by user and what action it will perform. Okay, and so here, so we need to launch the local action, and so we have a local action call attach content. Something like attach not attach content. Let's, so we have some out of the box local actions. So there is some local action call attach content, something like attach a file is similar to that. Okay, let's use this. 1 second, let me search here. Attach content. Py attach content, not this one. Okay, so let's use attach a file and see. So this is the local action. So whenever you click on the button, so this will be executed. Okay, means like so we selected model dialog, right? So replace current means the current screen will be replaced. Overlay also it will be displayed on the whole screen. Okay, without replacing the current screen, and model dialog where it will open some small window, model dialog. Okay, So like this. So this is also some model dialog, right? So now, and yeah, so let's create a flow action and invoke this section. Okay, and we can put some other fields also, but here like currently we just specified the control, and like here we can add some out of the box section where you will see list of attachments you uploaded, and you can manage them. Like you can let's say you uploaded a few documents and you want to delete something, so you can do that. Okay, so we'll add that later. So now let's create a flow action and invoke the section. Chaitanya, అర్థమవుతుందా? Yeah, so collect the loan documents and call the section. Okay, and include in both the flows. Let's open home loan here, and I will add somewhere like after assets and liabilities. So check out this, add assignment, so loan documents, right? And invoke the flow action. Okay, so after completing assets and liabilities, you will see the loan document screen where you can upload documents. Okay, so here let's route it to the current operator. So let's submit the screens. Next we have assets and liabilities, then upload documents, right? So this is some format like so we have something like attached content where we will see the different model dialog. Okay, and you can choose the file. Let's say can submit like this. Let me refresh.
Satya,
And so
in which
whatever the documents, yeah.
in which table this document? Okay.
Yeah, so these will be stored in separate tables. So we have a PC link attachment class. That particular table link attachment is the class, and PC underscore link attachment will be table. So all the documents will be stored in that, and where you will have the reference, like the keys between work object and those link table, means like work table and So link table, let's go to the clipboard. So we added one document currently, right? And here you see py attachments. So whenever you add a attachment, so it will be added like this. So you can attach the multiple documents, right? So if you add more documents, let's say 3 documents, and you will see the 3 pages. Like py attachments is a page list property, and it's created by referring to the data page automatically, right? So now px linked reference from. So this is the pj key of the work class. Okay, so we'll in the next class we'll discuss about the whole documents. So there are a lot of things to be discussed. Okay, and so the px linked reference from is equivalent to pj key of the work class. So later I want to know how many documents are available for this work object. Okay, so you'll be able to fetch that, right? So, and whatever the documents you upload, and if you want to see here itself, right? And so we need to add a section called the py case attachments. Go to the section and include the section called py case attachment. So whatever the attachments we have for that particular case will be displayed, right? So these are out of the box the rules, So let's say you are working on some unique functionality, and if you don't know, so what kind of rules you need to use, and you can search in the PDN and you will find most of the information about that. Okay, so if it is normal requirement, then so you can easily do that by using activity or some other rules. If it is the different functionality, then so you can search and you will find some out of the box activities and or some other rules, and where you need to pass some parameters. Okay. Right, so the list of documents, like as you upload here, and you will see here, and you can delete. Okay, or you can create your own the table with the py attachments, and you can select whatever the properties you want, and where you can provide some checkbox, and so through checkbox also you'll be able to delete that. Okay, so not like this. So so just like file name, and so who updated, and those information, like those properties available under py attachments related class, and you can design a separate section, and you can call it. Okay, and you will see list of documents in the tabular format, right? So this is called local action. So whenever you click on upload documents, the model dialog is getting opened, and but the user is on available on the current screen, right? Still. So once we click on submit, then behind this we have the connector flow action. That's what we create, collect loan details. Okay, so this is advancing the flow. So when you click on submit, it will advance. Okay, so that is the difference between the local flow action and connector flow action. Okay, so now you can explore more about these things, like you go to the PDN, and you will find so a lot of information, like so out of the box local actions which we use frequently. Any questions so far? So these are about local actions, and so we are going to work on some other UI rules. So far we have worked on only the sections, right? So if you look at the user interface categories, so we created section, and so we'll be working on a few other UI rules like harness, paragraph, etc. Okay. So in the high level, so this is we call it portal, right? So this is the developer portal. I'm sorry, if you and inside the portal we have a rule called harness. Harness is nothing but just like collection of sections. So you can call multiple sections in the harness. Just give me 1 second. So as soon as we log in into the application, we see the complete portal, that is developer portal, right? And if you open this, inside portal, so we have a rule called PZ Studio harness. Harness is like it's like larger screen. Okay, inside that we'll have multiple sections. So we are seeing some data, that means behind that we have some screens sections, right? So here in this screen we can have multiple sections. So similarly, so in the PZ Studio harness we'll have a lot of sections available. Okay, and so inside the sections, so here like for Designer Studio, this header we have some section, and for displaying the case types, and so in the home page you see the PDN data, right? So if you take the live UI, you will find so whatever the sections we have in the screen, likewise. So this is one tool like tracer, but tracer where we can see the execution process of most of the rules other than UI, and UI rules also you can see, but like you cannot see each and every element. Okay, so for that, so we have a live UI which is for debugging the UI rules only. Okay, so I want to know what kind of section is being invoked here. So you simply take the live UI, click on that and move the cursor. So here if you expand it, you will see the whole hierarchy. So we have a top level screen, screen, that is harness PZ Studio. Under harness, see here if you expand the harness, you will see PZ Studio header section, and we have another section, and we have one more section called PZ Studio container, and inside that again we have a lot of sections available. Okay, so but we don't need to know about all these things, but just we need to know about live UI, how to use how to open the rules from that and modify it. So let's say in the real time you are working on application where the customer asked you to add some properties in the some screen, but where we'll have a lot of sections available, you cannot by looking at the screens, the runtime screens, you cannot identify what section is being used. Okay, you cannot go to the classes, and you cannot check one by one, right? So what you can do is, so you can just simply click on live UI and move the cursor, and you will find exact rule which is being used. Okay, so when you click on that, that particular rule will be open. Let me show you here. Let's execute any flow. So here we design, and this is the customer details we know, and we open that and we will modify it, right? So if you have a lot of sections and lot of schemes and developed by some other team, so you cannot identify through classes. Okay, so you take, let's say if you want to add some property here, something, just take the live UI and move the cursor towards the screen, right? Just put on property, and so these properties available in customer details section. Okay, and this is the flow action. So you will see sections, flow actions, RNSs, and some other rules, right? So now I want to open this corresponding flow action. Okay, so I want to see the pre-processing rules, pre-processing and post-processing rules being used for this current screen. So those will be available in flow action. So you can open the flow action. So here we have, this is cross-eyed icon to open that particular. So let's say, this is the runtime rule, right? So which is invoked. Let's say this rule, this flow action is available in multiple versions. Okay, 0 to 03, then like those will not be picked, right? Sorry, if 02 or 03 are not available, for example, so those will not be picked. Okay, so whatever the rules you see in the runtime, so those are actually executed as part of this process. Okay, and if you have a rule is withdrawn, then that will not be picked, right? So you will see actual rule which is available for execution. Okay, so sometimes, like, so if you open the rule, you will see with the customer details, but that customer details available, in different classes, and you cannot know which is being invoked as part of the flow processing. Okay, so not only this, any other rules. So let's say activity. So you open the tracer, and whatever the rule you see on the tracer, that is the one which is executed as part of the flow. Okay, so this is how you identify actual rules. Clear? In the next class, we'll be working on RNSs, and we'll create some paragraph rules, and we'll invoke in the flow. Okay. Any questions online, guys?
No, Satya.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so you work with declare on change. Okay, and so explore about the local actions, in the PDN, right? So even you can register with Gmail, and you can access some courses. Okay.
Yes, Satya, in PDN, what all things we can check? Can you just
So we have
explain?
courses like, so we have courses in the library like System Architect Essentials, Senior System Architect Essentials, like that. And first go through the System Architect Essentials, and where you will find, so lot of topics. Let's say, you will find the topic called activities, but where, you will not see the practical scenarios, but mostly theoretically, and some video clips available with, so some for some topics, they will show how to do in the application. So you can go through those also. Okay. So that is very important. So you need to go through the PDF.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it for today. We'll connect back on tomorrow. Thank you.